Hello. Hello. Well, I think we are back in business. Hello out there, YouTubers. I am back in business. At least I think I'm back in business. And after I get this video done today, I'll check it and see if I am indeed back in business completely. Today is the 2nd of September, the day after Labor Day. I hope you all had a good Labor Day. And so we're back to Let's Animate, and I'm talking to you from a new computer. I got a computer that's actually exactly like the one that I had before, and I cloned my drive so that I was able to keep all of the programs that I have, though I am having some issues with certain applications that even a cloning scenario doesn't fix. I'll mention this for those of you who don't know. If your old computer dies or you damage it or something goes wrong, and you've got Storyboard Pro, let's say you have Storyboard Pro that you purchased, or you have it as a subscription or something. Well, probably, I don't know whether it works just for subscriptions, but if you, let's say you bought Storyboard Pro as I have, even if you clone your drive, you're going to discover that Storyboard Pro, even though it's still on your computer, won't just open, even if you put the license in, because the way Storyboard Pro is designed, the way Toon Boom products are designed, is they can only, a license can only work on one computer at a time, based on what I'm hearing from tech support. So hopefully this is going to be resolved soon. Which is affecting some things, like, for instance, me making my thumbnails. I was using Storyboard Pro to help me do that. You'll see on this particular video that my thumbnail looks different than it would normally look, just because of the fact that I can't open Storyboard Pro right now. I had to do the thumbnail that you see, not here, but when you click on the video, the thumbnail, I created that in Painter. And hopefully that also will look okay when it's up. And I won't know that until the video's done and uploaded, and I'll look at it. And we'll see. I don't know how long it's going to be before Storyboard or for Toon Boom gets back to me, for tech support gets back to me and lets me know about being able to reactivate my Storyboard Pro. I have an older version of Storyboard Pro, Pro 7. I think now they're up to like 24 or 26 or 28 or something. I don't know. So anyway, all right. Well, enough chit chat. Here we are back, and hopefully, as I said before, hopefully everything is working as it should be. So as you can see, we've got Miguel here, and the animation was done from the last time that you all saw this. So now I'm just coloring it. So we'll stop this here. And we'll go back and look at where we are. So right now we've got, okay, so yeah, I have inked him. So alright, so we'll go here and ink the brush there. I believe, oh yeah, okay. So we're inking the, let's put it right. We're inking the painted area the same color as the paint itself. I'm using the straight line here because it's quicker. Okay, so screen's a little muddy there. Let's see if I can clean my screen. You're not seeing any of this. It's on my end. All right, let's see here. Okay. So, yeah, gotten out of the groove here. Let's see. So we got Miguel with paint bucket in his face, hands. All right, hair is black. Okay, let's see. What color? This. Interesting to note that you don't always get cooperation on the paint bucket. If an area isn't completely filling in color, usually it means that the area is not as open as you think it is. So that's just the way it goes. Let's see. All right. So we got that color for the shirt. Let's see if I'm right. So there. And then pants. That color. Light on the shoes. I think it's black. Yeah, right. Black on the sneakers there. Okay. I'm always finding that I always end up having to go back in with filling little areas because it doesn't seem to be obvious that those areas are going to be filled exactly the way I want them to. Okay, Miguel has completely got a black ink line around him, which I guess in some ways simplifies my life. There we go. Yes, sir. Oops. Good stuff. There we go. I can't remember. Let's see. Does he have? No, let's see. Oh yeah. Okay. So the black lines go all the way around his eyes. See, I've been out of the loop here for so long. It's like, that's the thing I hate about a break in the action is that it also creates a break in your workflow because if I get up every day and I know what I got to do on the scene, or I know the routine, the color, and everything, it just makes everything go faster. But if I have a break in the action, which happens, there's not a whole lot you can do about that sometimes. Then you get out of that flow, and when you come back, you really have to kind of get back into the flow. So, but there isn't a lot you can do about that. You pretty much just have to roll with the punches, as it were. Be like if you had an accident or something and you had to go to the hospital or something, God forbid, of course, that you have to do that, but you get out of the flow of what you were doing on a day-to-day basis, and now you've got to readjust your entire daily schedule because you're in the hospital now, and that changes everything you're doing, so now your day-to-day thinking has to become something different because your situation is different. Let's see. What am I doing with, let's see.
guess I could use a brown line. Yeah, I could probably make that brown. Oh, looks like I didn't carry that. Okay. Well, I know it's gonna be this line, color line. So I know that. It's gonna sweep this way. So I know that. Okay. Straight line. Let's see, hold up. I think maybe we'll have to do a, yeah, okay, that helps. Yeah, see, what I did here was, so I could see where that old line was, I pulled up the, whatchamacallit, oh gosh, the, onion skin so that I could see what the color was underneath. Right, there we go. Seems like a little thing, but yeah. All right, so let's see. Oh, that's the wrong color. It's this color. There we go. Whoops, whoops, a darker color, that color. There's black. That's black. Purple on this. So that's purple. This is that color. This is that color. Let's see. This is nuts. This is good. Right. Okay. Yeah. There we go. Okay. I had already put, you know, I can see that now. I had already put the I had already put, oh, up here on the top layer here where I'm waving my mouse, all of those frames were already, I already assigned frames up there. So when I just click on to draw on the next one, it's already been assigned that there's a frame there. So in the past, I've been just creating the frames as I need them. But before I had the computer issue, I made the frames. I put them all there. So that's why when I go up there now to get it, to start to do what I'm doing here, that's why there's already a frame there. It's been assigned. Yeah. The sound's coming okay. Just moving my cursor around. I think the sound is coming through good. There we go. All right. So many little things to be aware of. There we go. Since I'm doing the relaxation here of drawing this, I thought I would take a moment to give a little review of the new animation that you probably either have seen or maybe you want to see. I think I'm getting the title correct. It's a K-pop Demon Hunters, I think is what it is. A Netflix feature film. And I wasn't going to see it. I have a friend who I'll give credit here, Maria Pham, who is my background artist,
co-collaborator.
recommended that I see it. She thought it was really great. And Maria, if you happen to see this before I talk to you today, I'll just be telling you again. But you were right. I saw it and I thought it was very good. Um, so I wanted to, for those who maybe haven't seen it, and you think that maybe I know what I'm talking about when it comes to a review, or you trust my judgment about it for whatever reason, I can honestly say that I did find it to be quite entertaining. It's actually quite good. I think it's a pretty good basic story. Um, I'm going to say that I think, knowing how these corporations have a tendency of, like, they get a successful show and the next thing they want to do is jump right into making a sequel of it. In fact, I think I've even heard that that's what Netflix is thinking. Um, my experience as a director and producer of TV shows, animated shows, I would say, in my humble opinion, and I'll just say in my humble opinion because it's just my opinion, and opinions are, after all, like noses. Everybody's got one. I would say that I'm not sure there's enough. Um, I'm not sure there's enough material for a sequel to this film. However, I do think it is a very well done movie. It's engaging. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's funny. Um, yeah. So I will say I say good things about it because it's true. I think it's a very well done, well crafted um, movie. So if you are planning on seeing K-pop Demon Hunters, I think I'm getting that right. I would recommend it. Yes, it's pretty funny. It's good. It's funny. And I have to say this because I'll be honest with you. I've sort of lost my faith in Hollywood right now. um, you know, I've lost my faith in Hollywood because I feel that Hollywood, and I feel like it's fair for me to say this, having been a part of Hollywood or part of what we do. I've been I've lost faith in Hollywood primarily because of its attitude towards the viewer, towards the public. It's an attitude that they've always had. It's nothing really new. But the reason that I make a mention of it is I think it is to their own demise for having this attitude, but it's typical business mentality, what they're doing. So in that sense, it's understandable why they do it. But some projects are in some ways are kind of one-offs. Things that tend to make good sequels are things that have been conceived originally to be a sequel or a series of films. This is where Lucas was so smart with Star Wars because he had a story that he could see uh, would be, a sequelized idea, something that would require more than one film. Every movie doesn't require that, and but the way that corporations think and the big movie studios think, they just think, oh, this made a lot of money. Let's make version 2, version 3, version 27. I think what ends up happening is you just really burn out your public. If you don't really have something that's worth making a sequel to, or there isn't enough material, I think you run the risk of just, I don't know what the word is, oversaturation of the, or maybe it's, I'm sure there's a word for it. I don't know what the word is right now. I think this is one of the reasons why some directors never repeat themselves, and they continually make great films. Someone like Woody Allen, for instance, who I think has made some really, really fine films in his life, and he's never imitated himself. Well, let me say this: he's never made sequels of his movies. most great filmmakers don't. You know, Stanley Kubrick never made a sequel to 2001, even though 2001 could have been a sequel to it, because you know, if at the end of 2001 it implies that there could have been a sequel to explain where that was, where the end of that film was going, and yet Kubrick never intended to make a sequel. Now he might have. I mean, if he lived longer, he might have done something like that. I don't know. And it would have certainly been interesting to see a Kubrick sequel, because it isn't something that he normally would do. But filmmakers, auteur filmmakers, generally like to not repeat themselves, and they like to make something that's unique each time. And it's actually a lot easier to do. But Hollywood just doesn't think that way. Hollywood is always thinking about how much money they can make, and you know, just how much imitation they can do, because imitation obviously is easier. You know, if something works, why not make a you know, version 2, version 3, version 20? You know, it's less of a risk. You know, it's not a stupid way to think. Obviously, I understand why they do it. I just, as a filmmaker, as an artist, I don't agree with it, but I understand why they do it. So, from that standpoint, it's not wrong for them to think that way. It's just everything doesn't lend itself to sequels. That's what I'm saying. So, take it for whatever. You can take that for whatever it means. Because it's not going to be, it isn't going to necessarily apply in every situation. So, let's see. Where are we here? Okay. Okay, so that head and ear. That's going to be black. This. This. It's. And I think we're good. Since we got an underneath on the sneaker, I'll make it a different color. So let's see. Yeah, there we go. All right. Okay. Well, I think we'll stop here. And hopefully this the sound and everything is working on this. You know, I will check it as I go out. It's good to be back, folks. I missed you. So if everything's going well, which it seems like it is, then I should see you all tomorrow. So you have a great day. And don't forget, once again, thank the Lord each day for you, the blessings that He's given you, the life that's in your body, and of course the talents and gifts that He's blessed you with. We thank you, Lord, for that. So remember, Jesus is Lord. See you tomorrow.